we end the Raw review with the final segment of Raw.
Oh
And
man.
at this point, I was like, what the hell? This has been excellent.
Mm,
And it got even better
can
because
you
we had
imagine?
Seth Rollins come out with Paul Heyman by his side.
Man.
And then we had CM Punk confront Seth Rollins.
Mm. It was interesting because they never got a chance to speak
Yeah.
really. You know,
So we're
he
still
kind of
waiting for
just
that, aren't we?
yeah. So we haven't got answers verbally. Um, but I like that they did that as well. And
Yeah,
but then they gave us answers without saying anything as such. You know.
for sure. For sure.
Um,
Then we had Roman Reigns come out as well, didn't we?
yeah. So he dealt with Punk. I think Punk initially got the upper hand on him, and then Punk turned to Paul Heyman,
Yeah.
and then that's when he attacked him and then took care of him, and then um, Heyman was saying this is the number one star in the whole company, and the Roman's music hits, ironically.
Yeah. There we
And
go.
yeah,
And then yeah, Reigns gets some licks on Seth. Gets some offense in on Paul Heyman as well. Hits the Superman punch on Heyman, it made me laugh a bit. And then we
yeah,
got a hooded man come out
yeah,
and took out Roman Reigns.
speared him.
Did you see this coming?
Not this soon. Well, not the not in this capacity. I could see like I was like if Paul Heyman's next guy was going to be Braun Breaker. So obviously
Yeah,
this situation with Seth. But then in the end, it made sense, obviously. But you always project these things for the future,
yeah,
and then before you know it, you're here, you're in the future now.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
for sure.
The future's arrived,
Yeah,
and I love it. I love the selection, and obviously, there's a lot of ode back to the Paulie faction, and I'm excited to see. I reckon Becky will join them personally. I think they'll have a woman in there as well, and maybe one other guy.
I'm not sure I want to
But
see that. I'm not sure I want to see Becky involved. I'm quite happy with the way it is.
yeah.
I'm not sure anybody else needs to get. I personally don't want to see Becky and Seth on TV together.
Mm-mm-mm.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I hear you, I hear you. Well, they're both big characters, so you don't want it to ruin their aura the
Yeah,
way it previously did in 2019. But mind you, um, they're a lot more established now, so I'm sure they could make it work somehow. But I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
yeah. I just I'm quite happy the way it is. I think Braun and Seth and Paul. I think they're gonna cook, and we're obviously gonna get some showdown down the line with Punk and Reigns tag teaming against these two.
Mm,
Or obviously, if they add another person, we'll
it's
go
going to
down
be a
that road.
backlash thing. Yeah,
You think it'll be a backlash? Roman Reigns is going to be a backlash?
I think so.
I
I
don't
think so.
think so, man. I don't
They might as
think
well strike while they're on top, man.
Reigns, he don't do
And then
B,
they,
B
and
pay
then,
per views, man.
and then they take the L, and then he takes some time off.
I would love to. I'd love to. I'd love to see that as a possibility. I just don't see Reigns wrestling at a B pay per view.
Mm,
I just don't see that happening. But I would love to see that happen, mate. But
yeah.
yeah. I mean, let's fantasy book. Where do we go from here?
I mean, we definitely go down the line of at some point Seth is coming after Jay's belt, um, and the belt goes back on him at some point.
Yeah,
That's definitely happening. Um, Breaker kind of just is to Seth what Solo was to Roman
yeah.
in many ways.
Do you
Um,
think we've got evolution thing going on here? Are we going to get Braun turning on Seth?
Definitely. I don't know if there's going to be more, and that's why I'm like, well, is there going to be more players involved? But do they need more players? I don't know how many people Bron Breaker can play can sort of play with. Like if you get what I mean. Like
Yeah,
I think he's got enough people. Do
yeah.
you know what I mean? And besides, if they were to add someone else, I couldn't think of who else
Mm,
to add.
okay,
But yeah, that's about as far as I can go at the moment. I'm not so sure as far as what Braun will do. I think a lot of what he'll be doing is will be for the good of the good of the team,
okay.
the good of the faction.
All right.
You know, he'll be getting them out of trouble a lot of times to begin with.
So he's the muscle, is he?
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure. The heavy.
for sure. All right, so that wraps up Raw. Do you want to give Raw a mark out of 10?
Oh mate, yeah, it was a 9, man.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, solid, bro.
It was really, really good.
Solid.
And I don't know if you wanted to discuss this now or maybe. Actually, yeah, there's no time like the
Now
present.
let's do it now. Let's do it now.
Listen, Papa
Go
H
on,
spun the block.
bruv.
He opened up the clip. I think we're back in business. It has to be
Hundred
said.
percent.
We're back in
Hundred
business.
percent. 100%.
What a difference a day makes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, everything I was saying, I just, like, we were missing, we got it. So what's happening now, dog? What's happening? Because
Well,
that's no accident we got that on Monday.
no, certainly not. Um, uh, we got to go back now to the main event now, isn't it? Because I think that was part of like the catalyst around this. Obviously, look, the quality of matches, as far as like them not being of a particular standard on night one, etc. That
Yeah,
those wrestlers have to take responsibility for that. Um, so we'll leave that there because you know you can talk about how good your build was or wasn't, but you can still put on a good show. You know that's still within your power. You know.
yeah,
Anyway, and I think this whole Rock thing, man, and obviously he came out with his explanation of why he wasn't involved. But then you're hearing reports that WWE was a bit confused over all the things he's saying, and then he said something along the lines of everything's a work. Um, so I don't know, but I think look, it's very clear. Triple H can sit there at the end of these press conferences talking about uh, we had the largest gate of all time,
yeah.
you know,
Again,
biggest numbers ever, yeah, all of that
again.
stuff.
Yeah,
But the reality is, like, they put on a poor product, man, over that weekend, so they had to step things up. I think this was always going to be lined up to be a good Raw as such, but this was supposed to follow on to what should have been a better Mania than what we got, you know.
I
So
yeah.
that's why probably, and then well, it's not even probably. That's why obviously this Raw stands out a lot more, you know, based on the quality of the.
No, I don't know about that.
Gone.
I feel like with Raw, I wasn't excited about because we've had a pattern recently of Raw after Mania's like being quite flat for whatever reason. They just and there hasn't been much returns and whatnot.
Mm,
And I was not excited for this Raw.
mm,
I was quite disillusioned after watching the main event. Obviously Mania. I wouldn't go as far as to say it was a poor weekend. I still think we did get some good stuff. It was still
mm,
above average Mania, I would say. But obviously we're coming off the back of what we got last year, and generally the booking has been pretty good, like the last
mm.
2 or 3 years, and
Yes.
we've got high expectations, and I was really let down with like what we got.
Hmm.
But Raw, it literally gave me everything that I've just become accustomed to. Just the seeds that were planted, the story developments, it was just the flavor. The flavor was there. The flavor
Yeah.
I've been loving. This is what's really got me. Listen, I'll be honest. This is why we're making a pod because it's just
Yeah.
invigorated this like passion I've got, this love I've got for this crazy world. You know, it just. it was just everything was like the flavor was there. Al Dog, the
Yeah,
flavor was there. You know.
but but Mania was so underwhelming, and obviously you couldn't have been the only one going um into the Raw with no expectations or low expectations.
Yeah,
So they were able, the Raw that they delivered obviously ended up being a bit of a breath of fresh air or off the back of the weekend that we got. Yeah, it was still, above average as you said. The score ultimately for it we gave was a 6, I
yeah, we
believe.
gave it a 6. I think 6 is fair.
So, but so the Raw that came after that obviously ended up being something that was, that just delivered, and I feel they delivered because it was easy to deliver that Raw based on the, I say easy,
Yeah,
but it was one of those things where, like, they Raw just had to bang, bro. It had to bang. They knew, man. They knew. They knew, man. A Raw had to bang. And the thing is, like, it was like you said, it was moment after moment after moment. It was like just like boom, 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 boom.
yeah,
The show was so smooth,
that's
man.
so good.
Like so smooth. Raw of the year, man. Like I said it, like in the WhatsApp in the chat.
It was, it
Yeah,
was, and
Raw